Okay, this is session 3 of 4 of Undying Food Chain. This is where we left off. We had an NPC diablerized a one-time PC, and we are going to talk about the aftermath of that and what happened with Rudolph's, who was Rufus for those who weren't here before. Who About the ritual to defeat the plague. So let's begin by clarifying what happened to Frederick. Does anyone have any ideas? Like, I think yes, you found the body, and it's drained of blood.
I'm trying to remember from our lore. We had to make a decision about what happens to vampire bodies when they're killed.
Oh yeah, they turn into like slimy innards and like.
Oh yeah, it's a mummified corpse.
Oh, that's right. It was mummified corpse.
What we need to decide is drinking when we get there. Like, what happens when you drink preserved or synthetic blood?
Yeah, but like that helps at least establish what we find of now I'm trying to remember Richard's character's name. Lupo.
Yeah. Yeah, he is a mummified corpse.
Okay.
So I don't think you noticed that he's been diablerized.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
what does it appear happened to him? I mean, it's unusual for a vampire to die.
As far as you know, you have no idea. It's a mummified corpse.
Okay. I mean, I'd certainly like to try and investigate and find out what happened to him. I should think we all would.
Do you feel that Frederick skips town shortly after that, or is he stayed part of our society over the next?
I think he stayed. Yeah. I think he stayed like right after.
Yeah, so I figure like the investigation could probably happen in the downtime moves.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So, the next nightly phase will be during the Revolutionary War. So therefore, the event is pretty much war, so to speak. I think what will happen then is the culmination of all the shit that Frederick's been doing, and what will happen to Rudolph as a princeps.
Right. What was Frederick's deal? I mean, I get that he's Rufus' sire, but like, why did he do? What is his motivation? What's going on with him?
We don't know. You guys don't know anything about his motivation other than he was passing by, and he was passing by, and technically you don't know that he's Rudolph's sire unless you pursue that during your downtime move.
Yeah, what we kind of gathered a little bit, what seemed to be set up in play, was that he's a bit of like a wandering type vampire. So he kind of moseys through so far Europe, creating new vampires everywhere that he goes, and kind of stirring up trouble and whatever kind of political machinations have already been in place. So that's how Rufus came to just sort of show up in the middle of this like really tightly knit Roman community and stir things up and pretty quickly become the princeps. That's what I gathered, at least.
There was originally some suspicion from the younger vampires about this Frederick guy just wandering in to our hunting grounds unannounced, but Rudolph, formerly Rufus, and Elizabeth, formerly Claudia, they both vouched for him and said he was a good guy, and so the rest of us welcomed him in.
I think a good guy might be stronger than the words they use, but they said that we have to put up with it at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was more generous than have to put up with him. I mean, they definitely were very seemed positive about having him around. They didn't have any problem with him at all about him being there.
Yeah. And I'm thinking that from the aftermath, directly after Frederick inherited Lupus hunting grounds, because hey, we have the one less vampire and one more, so he might as well get the hunting grounds the other guy had, not knowing that he was the one who killed Lupa to begin with. So
yeah.
All right, I think Pater, my character, would have had an issue with that because Lupus owed Pater a debt, and so I think Pater would feel that there was some claim to his hunting grounds for that reason.
I mean, so
right.
can we just do the downtime move and the whatever you're able to accomplish in downtime, you're able to accomplish, and whatever's not for whatever reason didn't work out?
I agree. I'm just gonna put that works. So plotting and scheming. I think so. Sam knows how to plot and scheme. I guess how plotting and scheming works in downtime. Does Crystal know how it works?
No, not really. If anyone wants to give a quick.
All right. So basically, the quick rundown is there are some things you can do during downtime. And those are in the PDF. And it starts by order of highest in the pecking order to lowest. And you can do a number of plots equal to double your status. But you don't want to do too much because if you go above your means or yeah, let me see. Yeah. If you go above or equal to your means, then bad shit might happen. Like if your means being a what's it called, a formula based on your status and how many times someone bolstered you versus how many times you got interfered with. So you can do more plots if you want, but you don't want to piss off the other vampires either.
And if you've opened up the Plague Empire document, those moves are on the last page.
Yes. And then each playbook has two special moves, I guess, or plots rather. Each playbook has two plots that only that kind of playbook can do. So highest in the pecking order is still Rufus. His means is currently 3, and he can do 6 plots.
What do we have? Where's our R map?
Your R map is, I posted it in the chat, but I will post it here in this little chat as well. All right.
Is it just the Plague Empire? Oh no, I see. Never mind. I have not seen this before. Cool.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. So I think I'm gonna start with the princeps. So let me think. All right. All right. So what Rudolph is going to do first, he will looking at the options and I'm not sure. He's gonna interfere with Elizabeth, who is now Claudia. He's going to Okay, so here's what happens. Rudolph is going to interfere with all patricians, and that's all he's going to do. So all of you have -1 means for now. Means are now is so each of your means is now 1, unless someone else bolsters you. Does that make sense? For the patricians, at least.
Yes. What a troll.
Sorry. So we have beans 1. I'm not seeing the stat.
Yeah, your status
exactly
is 2, so normally you would have a means of 2, but he's making the interfere move, which is reducing your means to 1.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
All right. So next in the pecking order is one of the patricians. Who has them? Let's see how the. So Elizabeth owes a minor debt to Priscus, and she owes. So I think Elizabeth is going to be the last of the patricians to go, and then it's Eldred and Theodore in any order, because she owes more minor debts to people than you two.
I see.
Yeah. So whichever one wants to go first, go ahead. Your means is currently 1 because Rufus is a dick.
Wait, I thought it was double their status. So since they were,
so that means we can have
no. That's
4
you can have you can have 2 plots, but your means is you don't. If you exceed your means, or if you equal your means, then
I thought it said the number of plots is double your status.
Yes,
so
you can have 4 plots, but your means, which is how many plots you can do without repercussions, is now 1.
Yes.
It just means that you'll suffer repercussions, which means that people will get butthurt.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we go above 1 plot, we will suffer repercussions.
Well, actually, if you I fucked this up last time. If your means equal your plots, then you get a rival anyways. So
rivals tend to happen. So equaling is.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Equaling is you get a rival, but exceeding means you get an enemy. And if your plot's more than double your means, you earn the vengeance of a new nemesis. So basically, someone's gonna be pissed at you if you plot, basically.
Go for it.
So how does this work if one of my plots is to atone, which is to make peace or placate?
You atone, and then after
someone
all
else
the plots are done,
pissed.
you get someone
else
gets butthurt.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
We can also bolster each other, by the way.
Yeah, I was thinking that. I don't know. Do you want to go in on this deal? Like if I bolster you and
yes. Yeah, I'll do that. The reason is
we simultaneously bolster, then we get 1 more plot, right?
Right, but so the advantage is that then it makes it a lot harder for us to get it. We won't get a new nemesis because that requires the doubling. And so if we have means 1 and even 2 plots will cause us to have a new nemesis. But if we do means 2, then we can do 3 plots without getting a nemesis.
No, it's 2 plots would still be exceeding but not doubling because
they get an
it has to be more than double. It says more than double, not double. So
got it. All right, never mind. Maybe it doesn't matter then.
Yeah.
No, that means that if you each bolster, then you can make all 4 moves. So you're gonna get 2 extra ones and only get a new enemy, but not a new nemesis. It's totally worth it.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
Okay. So we simultaneously bolster.
All right. So
well, not simultaneously because we have to do it in order. So
we're
right. Well, we
you're
do
simultaneous because you're equaling the pecking order. So that happens. And so that's plot 1, plot 2.
All right. So is there anyone who has better hunting grounds than me who is not Rufus?
Not currently.
Okay. I'm gonna gentrify my my hunting grounds.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
All right. Choose how to gentrify and explain how you did it.
So I mean, I don't know what my hunting grounds are, but I am just gonna move into like a plantation house that's become deserted due to the war, and like take it over and start it turning money again, I guess. So there'll be people around.
So increase your abundance, basically.
Abundance.
What?
Your abundance is already max, so I'm gonna increase your awareness.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I'm going to gentrify my hunting grounds with a brand new well where people can go to get fresh water. It's going to be, clean and beautiful, and that will increase the abundance.
All right. I will do that for you. All right. That's the second plot. Do you want to do more?
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna bankroll,
right.
and I will. What are we doing here? I'll get I'll take a minor debt from. Okay, so I get two minor debts. I'll take a minor debt from this Frederick. Frederick is around.
All right.
I will extend to him my hospitality when he first comes to America.
Yes.
And I will get.
Oh, wrong way. So basically, gave hunting grounds. Okay.
Oh yeah, actually that makes sense. So I'll help him. I'll help him get hunting grounds. Is what I'll do.
Okay.
And I will also get one from. Who's Porteous again?
Walter's character.
Got it.
And that would put you actually above Theodore in the pecking order. So
yeah, but this doesn't happen until after the.
Yeah, true.
So this doesn't count yet.
All right. Makes sense.
I guess the other person I'll help out Rufus, I suppose. I'll help out Rufus by keeping quiet about his keeping quiet about his relationship to Frederick, which I learned when I help out Frederick.
So the dead is keeping quiet?
Yeah.
All right.
And then okay, so then does Theodore want to make another move?
Sure. I'm going to atone Eldred.
Okay.
Yeah, which removes you as a rival, right?
Sounds good. Yep.
You get a free pass on hunting on at my well or something.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I will atone as well. I'll atone to Agnes, I think.
So
yeah. So let's see. So she doesn't like me because I one time tried to kill her.
Right. So she becomes our rival then.
Yeah. And Claudia is, I think, no longer my rival because, or no, Claudia's I see Claudia my rival, but Theodore is no longer my rival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And so that's all the plots you can do, right?
Yep.
All right.
We'll say that Agnes and I have like a torrid affair, and then at the conclusion of that, we still we revert to kind of like tolerance rather than murdering.
All right. Cool. Let's see. I think. So to clarify, Horatius, what's your new name now? Your English name?
I'm Hawthorne now.
Hawthorne.
Like it.
So Hawthorne, your what's it called? Your blackmail gives you a major debt on the princeps, right? Or how does that work again?
No, I owe him a major debt because I got him to call off the heretic charge that I was under. But he is still under my blackmail, so I'm got him in the pecking order.
Oh, so that's just what.
But I think only for that move. Like I don't get to plot ahead of him.
All right. So I am trying to figure out who's next. So,
yeah, I owe a lot of people. I'm not owed anything, so I'm sure I'm pretty close to last.
You owe. Well, Claudia owes you, but so you have one minor. Frederick has. Yeah, Elizabeth. Frederick has.
It's either Elizabeth. Yeah, I think it would Elizabeth next.
Oh, right. Elizabeth is a patrician, but I wanted to also figure out where the plebeians went. So
yeah, and I think it's Frederick, then Peter, then me,
and Agnes at some point.
Yeah.
Frederick has one. Well, has two. So Frederick is the first of the. Yeah, I think it would be Frederick, then Hawthorne, then Agnes, then Porteous.
Okay.
And so, Elizabeth.
One thing. So Theodore and I each owe each other a debt from the mutual bolstering, whatever.
All right. So you can put that in the armor by copying the arrows. I'm gonna resolve what Claudia does or Elizabeth.
Okay.
Wait, but didn't I atone you after that?
Yeah. So those are two separate things. So bolster trades what gives a minor debt, but an atone just reduces from rival to not rival. So just separately, we did other nice things for each other in the course of. Perhaps you helped avert suspicion after I made a messy kill.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's still a minor debt, but we're on friendly terms.
Yep. And then how did I, or thoughts on how I might have bolstered you?
I don't know. Maybe you helped me with some kind of enterprise. I forget what my enterprise is for this slave trading. I don't know.
Slave trading? Sure. Okay.
Sure.
How about I helped you put down a slave revolt?
Thank you.
That's too horrible. All right.
Not too soon.
All right. Claudia will gentrify, and that's all she'll do. Then the plebeians go. First is Frederick. And they have two things they can do. And the means of one. Frederick is going to murder Agnes. So
that escalated quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. Damn it, I just atoned to her.
What?
That was a wasted atone.
I considered murdering Frederick.
All right.
It's not a move that we get, I don't think. Or do you? Oh,
no, he gets it because he's a devil, so yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so
what happened? Frederick murdered someone?
Yeah. So now Rudolph is no one. She didn't owe anyone or no one had owes her, so
no, she owed Rufus, so that does.
Oh yeah. So Rufus becomes an enemy. Let me fucking find the thing. So sorry, this is confusing sometimes. So
if you run this again, you should get Visio and just do flow charts and like hierarchy charts.
I don't fucking know what Visio is, but you will have to tell me later.
Yeah, it's like a project manager software.
All right.
It's really easy to use, but like it's kind
Okay,
of
it
funny
doesn't
how
matter that-
much it fits here.
Okay, so it doesn't matter that Rudolph is is in maker of Lucius because Lucius is dead. So let's do that. So yeah, Agnes is fucking dead. And that's what Frederick's gonna do. And I don't know if probably Amaranth. So yeah. He probably diablerized her. I don't fucking know. But that's his move. Who was going next? Horatius or Hawthorne?
Okay, so Hawthorne, first of all, he's
You have two plots.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have two plots, and I'm gonna end up using both of them, even though that's gonna get me a new enemy, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first of those is I am going to curse Eldred.
So Eldred, now you are a pariah, and yeah, Nemesis.
Yeah. So like, absolutely, totally feel free to go after me. I think it'll be awesome.
Great.
And then the other one, I want to atone to Tullius, since I'm a rival of everyone from my period of time as a heretic. But I want Tullius to be there to vouch for me.
Everyone,
Or Theodore, sorry.
except everyone except Theodore, Nemesis, Peter, and Eldred.
Yeah, so I have a lot of enemies and a lot of favors, but at least I'm not a pariah anymore.
Jesus. Okay. Describe the curse.
I think that it's basically like a mark to him, that it's less visible than there is kind of a scent to it. I'm trying to think of something where he's a pariah, but he's not like wanted. They're not trying to kill him. So I don't want it to be like a scent of having diablerized. I know that you have diablerized, but you know that's been forgiven by the Princeps.
So by the way, Theodore is now your enemy, and Claudia, Frederick, and Rufus are now your rivals.
I think so that means Theodore is back to being a rival, and then everyone else gets upgraded to enemy, or whoever owed you.
Oh wait, I'm totally confused. Was there a move that made that happen?
It's the effect of curse. The predators who I owe debts to hate you now.
Oh shit!
Well, it doesn't say it here. Where does it say?
Any predators curse. Use fell blood medic to debase a predator of your choosing, rendering them a pariah. They become your nemesis. Any predators they owed minor debts to become your rivals, and any predators they owe major debts to become your enemies.
All right, that's not in the sheet That's not in the sheet I was using, but let me check the.
Yeah, it's not on the downtime moves list. I'm sure I'm not doubting you at all.
It's on page 71.
Still awesome.
All right, so
this is gonna work out so poorly for me.
Do you still want to curse?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah, it's
Theodore,
weird. It's not on the character sheet either. It says just use fell blood magic, rendering them a pariah. They become your nemesis.
Enemy.
Interesting.
I'm guessing. So who gets upgraded to enemy apart from Theodore? I'm guessing.
So I'm trying to remember if I owed major debts to anyone else at the end of the last game.
No, you know.
I don't think so. I think it was just Theodore.
So Frederick, who owes you.
I mean, like in that case,
Rudolph.
I know I'm making things more confusing, but I want to atone to somebody that can have be an ally rather than just not hate me quite as much as they could. So I guess I would do it to Elizabeth.
Elizabeth would be a rival, downgraded to rival as well.
And I believe we decided at the beginning of last session, or kind of in the middle of last session, that even though Henrik was no longer a heretic, that because Peter was a hunter, Peter is still a nemesis of Henrik.
So that means that everyone would be, like, Theodore would be downgraded to rival, but everyone is either your enemy or your.
Why would Theodore be downgraded to rival?
Because he atoned, or if he was to atone.
He said he wanted to atone to Claudia.
I wanted to see if there's somebody that I could atone to where they would full out like not hate me anymore. Was Elizabeth a rival or was she an enemy?
She was a rival.
Yeah, so if I'm atoning to Elizabeth, then she's off of this list.
Although she gets like 2 stacks of rival because she was already a rival, and then you're doing something that also makes her a rival.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know how that works out.
Yeah, that's what my point. Like, everyone was either like everyone who you would make a rival, or everyone who was already a rival. Everyone who you wanted to atone to owed Eldred a debt, at least one debt.
Yeah, but if we're doing the order of operations to this, the first thing I'm doing is cursing.
Yes.
And that's going to make some people rivals. Even if they're already rivals, that doesn't make them even worse. That just still makes them
doesn't make them worse? That's what I'm...
Yeah, so if you rival a rival, they're still just a rival.
Okay, that's making sure. So in that case, everyone's a rival.
And then I atone one of those rivals, making them not anything.
And
which one?
Sorry, Theodore is an enemy still, unless you atone.
Yeah.
Theodore was okay. So everyone was already okay. So everyone was an enemy to begin with because of the pariah status, I think, or the ex-pariah status. So you have to atone with them individually. So therefore, you can pretty much make anyone a rival.
Yeah. I'm just taking a quick look because I get so confused with some of this stuff.
So yeah.
Brand a heretic. Yeah, everyone was an enemy. Nobody was a rival.
Yeah. So
what I would do. Oh gosh, I am in such a shitty position.
Yes.
The nice thing is that I can use these abilities without making my situation any worse because everybody's already my enemy.
Sorry. Question. How does one stop being a pariah?
I did is I got leverage over Rudolph, the princeps,
and then asked him nicely.
Yeah, basically like offered him a major debt because it was
happened at the beginning of last session during the downtime moves. Right? You used I
got the blackmail on him during downtime.
All right. So who do you atone with then?
I know. I'm gonna go right back to what I was originally doing. I'm gonna make it Tullius.
All right.
Theodore.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I like having friends in low places.
Yeah. You guys aren't friends. You just no longer directly want to kill him.
We're just not enemies anymore. We're just rivals.
Sure.
All right. So.
But yeah, like everybody at least hates me a little bit. I'm definitely not surviving this session, but I love it.
All right. So the murder so the question is, does the murder happen before Agnes gets to do her thing or after?
I think
depends on whoever's higher in the pecking order. If Agnes,
it sounds like Frederick moved before her, so I would think she does not get to.
All right, cool. So Agnes is fucking dead. Peter, you get the last move.
Okay. So Peter is going to do an entertain move. Host a soiree on the brink of the impending crisis, earning you patrician status when nightly play resumes. You cause a patrician to lose their patrician status, and they are now your enemy.
Cool.
So it sounds like it's usually the lowest ranking patrician, which I think would be Elizabeth at this point.
I mean, you can choose, but yeah, that makes sense.
I mean,
That
who's
makes
left
sense
at this
because,
point? So
well,
Eldred and Elizabeth and Rudolph are the only patricians right now.
Eldred is now a pariah, so.
Oh, that's right.
Theodore.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
Theodore's
meant
the other one.
Theodore is.
Theodore
I think it
Rudolph's
makes
not a
sense.
patrician. He's princess. So there's actually only two patricians at this point,
Guys.
Elizabeth and Theodore.
Walter.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense to make it Claudia or Elizabeth because she hasn't been doing anything to entertain really. So therefore she can go fuck herself. So you are now, and she becomes a plebeian. And she becomes your enemy.
I'd love to see what these charts look like when played at a tabletop, because I kind of picture it like I know when the feds lay out like the mafia map of like how all the different crime bosses are connected with each other.
Yeah, having a cork board with pictures and pins and yarn with different colors for different like
levels of death,
rivalries and all that. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Sorry, Peter is now princeps?
Yes.
What? Princeps?
No, patrician.
Patrician. Sorry.
Yeah, just checking.
Sorry.
Yeah, princeps. Of course.
I was like, whoa.
Hold up. I am moving shit around so I can see what the fuck is going on with my. Moving to front and move. All right, and I think that's everyone. We don't have to deal with fucking downtime anymore. All right, so new situation. I guess I'm gonna remove every fucking hunting ground that Eldred has, making his hunting ground thing useless as well. Because of... Okay, hold up.
What sea are we in?
Sorry?
Where are we?
What do you mean?
Where in colonial America?
Are we in Boston? Are we in what's that place? Walnut Creek, Little House on the Prairie,
Georgia.
We said American Revolution, so it's a little bit post. Well, it's still kind of colonial, but like end
of colonial. Yeah.
So East Coast somewhere.
North Carolina.
All right.
Virginia.
What I'm curious about is, we ostensibly we'd have some connection to what's going on in mortal politics. Is Rudolph a monarchist, or is he a revolutionary? I would expect that the kind of respect that he would hope to be owed would make him a monarchist, but that's your call, not mine, Maria.
All right. I think Rudolph doesn't really care. I think he's more... Oh, wait. We have to resolve means. Sorry. The end of downtime. So Rufus made 3, so he has a rival. No rival. So I'm guessing Theodore might make sense because he's still a patrician. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
So
I think this is kind of a time when people who are important have to pick sides. So I don't know if Rufus can get by not having a side. He can certainly be someone who tries to play both sides, but like that itself is something that people would know.
We are resolving the end of downtime. So
sorry.
Hold up. So rival. Right. Then All right, so I think Eldred, you made 4. So I guess right now okay.
A new
What
enemy.
what does it say if you turned into a pariah during this shit?
It doesn't say anything about that. But my plots exceed my means, so I earn the hatred of a new enemy.
All right.
Let's
I
see.
mean,
Wait.
no, but like you're a
After
pariah
all
now.
the characters have had their turn, compare the number of plots you've hatched to the means, and the means is your status plus
Oh, I
bolster.
see.
Yeah,
right.
but
My status
yeah,
is
Your
like,
bolsters,
Okay.
your means is only 1.
So that's an interesting question about the rules.
no,
Is it
No, it's
by
pretty
means
clear.
is 0.
what you status you start with,
Hold
or the
up.
status you end with?
That's what I'm asking.
I have to think that it's my current status. So
that's
I agree
0.
that my right +1. So So I do earn a new nemesis.
All right, Nemesis. Who wants to be the Nemesis?
I think it's got to be me because it's my fault that this happened.
All right. So you already have him as a Nemesis, so no.
Oh, shoot.
How is he already? How are you already?
Because he was the one who
Because
cursed
I
you.
cursed
Oh,
you.
right. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
but he can be my nemesis. Is nemesis always mutual? I guess.
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah, I think typically.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it wouldn't make sense for Nemesis to not be mutual.
I mean,
So-
in this situation, it does make sense for him to be my nemesis as the result of this. But I don't know. If I need an additional nemesis, you can nominate one. I didn't cause I really didn't cause anyone to suffer this time around.
Yeah.
If no one says anyone,
Like, I am totally fine with just keeping it me, even though it does say make a new nemesis. If we wanted to insist on a new one, then I would say like perhaps Rudolph, just because like you've overextended your means. He's just like you're getting kind of uppity here, and we don't appreciate
I
it.
think it would be Rudolph, especially because he knows you diablerize people, so he might suspect you were the one who diablerized Lupo and Agnes.
I wasn't even around. I have a great alibi.
All right, so so then we go to
Right. Sorry. So is Rufus my nemesis or not? What's the consensus?
yes, Rudolph is your nemesis. Yes.
Okay.
All right.
He wouldn't be where he's at if it weren't for you.
All right, and Elizabeth is I forgot what she did. I think she gentrified, right? Or what? Or something. She did one thing, and right now she's a plebeian, so she gets a new rival. And that rival, who wants to be Elizabeth's rival? I am guessing.
Can be.
If no one makes sense, then Rudolph. Because it's like, why the fuck did you lose your position? So now, Theodore. Same thing. You get a. Well, not same thing. You get an enemy.
All right, who do I have available so far? Priscus, Randolph, Rudolph, and Claudia.
Yeah.
And
you're.
I'm not your rival. We atone. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's right.
All right. And I guess it could be Hawthorne or Frederick. But Hawthorne already has like everyone as an enemy. So
my nominal was that I'm like nominally less Hawthorne than everyone else.
We made special efforts to get.
Right. So let's preserve that. So then enemies would let either Peter or Frederick, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a preference, Walter?
I think Peter makes sense because he just became a princeps. So
No. He's just became a patrician.
We've done this
patrician,
twice.
yes. Sorry.
Yeah, so
It
update that too.
says princeps here. I forgot to change it. So
Yeah, it's confusing. It's fine.
no,
Yeah, let's.
the thing is, I read it from the thing there. So hence. So yeah, he just became a patrician, so it makes sense for him to be your enemy. Frederick did one plot.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone becomes Frederick's rival, and who the fuck cared about about what he did to Agnes?
Well, I think I'm one of the few people that doesn't already have an established.
No,
Oh no,
he's
he
your
is my
enemy.
enemy. Shoot.
He's your enemy.
Oh, that's Agnes.
I mean, I might care, I suppose. I did try to I did atone to Agnes shortly before her untimely murder.
All right, so yeah, that makes sense. Rival with. All right, and then Agnes is fucking dead.
But what is the in-fiction way that my curse might end? Most of these pariah things are more kind of social situations. I'm still right. The curse is still going on. It wasn't just like a one-time thing that caused me to do that. So like, I'm just indefinite under curse.
Let's see.
Let's
here.
discuss that when we're done with
All right.
Hawthorne and Peter.
Sorry.
Peter, you did how many plots again?
I did 2 with a means of 1, so I exceeded, which gets me a new enemy. And I think my only option
Is Theodore.
is Theodore, which makes that whole effort to atone a total waste.
Yes.
Like, I think the only thing that confused me and caught me off guard with that was that Frederick wasn't around when everybody became my enemy.
I also wasn't around when everyone became your enemy.
No,
So really,
No, everyone became my enemy at the end of the first session.
He became your enemy because of the curse. Because he owes Eldred.
Okay, so I'm just enemies or nemesis with everybody.
Or I'm guessing he was a rival. But then that would still make him an enemy now because he would be the only option.
So then Theodore's still a rival.
No.
Either Theodore or Frederick is still just a rival. Your
Hold
choice.
up. So Frederick would be a rival.
Okay.
And then by the time the curse happened, he got upgraded to enemy. And then
why was he a rival before? We didn't know each other well enough.
Because you cursed him. You cursed Eldred, and he owed Eldred.
Yeah, no, like that's what I'm saying.
He wasn't rival.
Here's what we had.
All right.
I have one
right.
person who's still a rival.
Yeah. Okay. Who do you want it to be? Who still?
I'd like it to be Theodore.
Okay, Theodore. All right, just make because holy fuck, this.
I know I've messed things up so much so early on.
That, right. So that's that. Wait. So and then. So that would be at the end of that. Oh, right. Never mind. Okay, so now, Peter, how many plots do you do?
1. And I'm now patrician status. So
that is true. So it's 2. So your means exceed your. All right, cool. That makes sense. All right. Now we can talk about everything else.
Playing vampires is so like office business meetings, and downtime actions are the meetings before the meetings to schedule the meetings.
That's right. Oh, Sam, I have one thing. Sam, I think you had a question about ways to get out of pariah status, and it looks like on your character sheet you have regicide, which is kind of a murder move. So you could either murder someone in a downtime move or murder a patrician in a in game, and that could make your character a patrician. You basically take their place at that point.
That's what he did at the first session.
But the question is whether there's any way for me to become a regular person,
A plebeian.
Just a
going
plebeian?
straight to patrician-dom.
Yeah. Well, hey.
I think if you have basically what I did is I took advantage of pecking order status over Rudolph, and that's how I got out of it.
All
Yeah,
right,
so as long as it make...
but here, if the question is I basically have a giant magical glowing pariah sign over my head. The question is whether any NPC, I guess, other than you, can actually remove it.
Well,
I think somebody
Vincent used the
Let
blackmail
Vincent answer.
move, which is specific to the
Walter,
his
can
character,
you
the
let
Nightmare character.
Vincent
His
answer?
regicide is a specific move for the
Walter.
devil.
Walter.
All right, cool. Thanks.
Sorry, we just muted you.
All right, Vincent can answer.
Yeah, so Sam, I would say absolutely, I can probably in exchange for some kind of debt, because you're not wanted to be killed. I'd say that it'd be just a minor debt exchange, and we can role play that out.
It could be even
otherwise,
later.
it would be somebody who has the authority to say you guys all have to let Eldred back into your good graces, and that would probably be Rufus or Rudolph.
All right. Who wants to take a quick break before we actually start? All right, cool. We'll be back in 5.
Okay.
Is everyone here? All right. Waiting for on Walter. All right. Hold up.
By the way, I was going to say I'd gone back to Callus after all this time, but under these circumstances, I think that seems unlikely.
Yeah. We will wait at most 5 more minutes. Hopefully they did. Hopefully it wasn't too offensive to just mute him.
You
I don't
do.
think it would have been, because like you're asking him to let somebody interject for a while building up to that.
I mean, if he rage quit over that, we can come up with creative ways to kill him off in the story too. That's fine.
I don't know.
I don't think I quite understood what happened there. So you
Let's
muted
drop
Walter?
it.
Okay.
Let's drop it. This is we don't have to gossip here, and it's Gauntlet, so best intentions.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, sorry about that. All right. So this how do I put it? So the big inciting event, or the big event that's going on, is basically the build up and explosion of the princeps getting something will happen to the princeps. Like it will probably change, but like he hasn't been doing stuff well recently, and I'm thinking. So I want to ask, do you have any ideas on how to kick this off? Okay, you, Vincent or
Right.
Hawthorne.
Like my thought was to make an actual challenge against Rufus and reveal the blackmail that I've been holding over him for the past few hundred years.
Okay.
Before we get to the kickoff, could we just talk a little about what everyone's like life, social position, with what's going on with them now?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's start with Theodore.
Sure. I am a Brit who currently living in, let's say, Baltimore. Currently involved in the slave trade. I don't think this is morally wrong. It's just a matter of business. And I have some friends and some enemies, but fewer enemies than a lot of you. So I feel like I'm pretty stable position of power.
All right. Let's go to Eldred.
So the real question is, will either Theodore, I guess Theodore would be the first person that I would go to. So I was sort of relatively successful and well off, but I was like struck by this curse, and all of my holdings have slipped away. I've been cast out. Will Theodore let me stay at his hunting grounds, and under his hospitality?
Oh, interesting. I mean, we did bolster each other that one time, but I don't know that I'm generous enough to keep this going on permanently. I mean, there's only so many prey to go around.
All
I don't
right.
know. What are you willing to offer in exchange for my protection?
I mean, clearly there would be a debt, although the problem is that all debts to also the debts to pariahs, human problems pariahs, are null and void. That's why people become you become enemies instead of debt holders, because when someone becomes a pariah, because the debts are wiped out. But certainly I would be grateful. But if you don't you don't want to, that's fine as well.
You know what? I'm in a generous state of mind for now. You know, I'm willing to give you a pass for now in exchange for your loyalty. Yeah, for the time being, like I see that you're sort of down on your luck, and I take you in as sort of an apprentice of sorts to sort of make sure you aren't completely destitute, and I'll take that as a debt.
No, so it can't be a debt because we can't. I'm a
Or-
pariah. I can't owe you debts.
Fine.
I don't think.
Okay,
But
well, just don't forget it.
you have my gratitude. So beyond that, okay. So I guess Eldred
I guess in
continues
practical purposes, like I don't know, you get some access to my well.
So Eldred continues to stay on the fringes of vampire society through his connection with Theodore. Eldred also falls in with like a band of mercenaries from the like Revolutionary War mercenary types, and sort of corrupts them. Like they're already violent people, and he feeds their vice for like they have like a fight club or something. They make captured prisoners fight, and generally there's like a sort of horrible, disruptive group, and that's the kind of like the vice of violence, I guess, is the thing that Eldred participates in and controls.
Let's speak with Hawthorne. What's your lifestyle? Before the confrontation.
Yeah. I present myself from when we first come over on the boats, I think to Plymouth, as just an acolyte of Rudolph's. So I am like at his beck and call every moment, and so grateful for all that he's done in helping people realize that I'm really a good, upstanding member of the community. But behind the scenes, I have him under my thumb, constantly threatening to reveal his little secret. But he and I, over the past couple hundred years, have worked together on rituals just to make sure that the community is able to stay stable. And lately, I've been sabotaging them a little bit, which is part of why his leadership has not been as effective.
Peter, what's your lifestyle been?
So Peter has been something of a like a trader in tobacco and laudanum, an opium mixture. So he's the kind of the feel-good guy, you know, a little bit of a charlatan healing, but you know, he's mostly just supplies, you know, alcohol, and you know, maybe he's like overseeing some bars, things like that. Kind of in the.
Have you been fulfilling your role as hunter?
That ended last session.
Got it. All right, sorry, it's still on the map.
It's on the map because the Nemesis part didn't clear.
Got it.
All right. So the night pretty much starts with, I'm guessing, Hawthorne doing what specifically?
Yeah, I encourage Rufus to call all the vampires in the area to a meeting. ostensibly to talk about what we're all going to have to do as this revolution kicks up and we have war breaking out amongst the herds. And if there's opportunity there, or if it's something that we need to be more cautious about so that we don't end up getting killed in the middle of battlefields. But as everyone arrives, I show up a little late and I drag into the proceedings this mortal woman and toss her into the center of the room. I say, Rudolph, how long have you kept this woman alive? 1,000 years? 2,000? This isn't natural, and she knows our ways.
He stares at you silently. What do you all do?
He has broken the faith. He has revealed our ways to the outside world.
Rudolph, is this true? These accusations of, betraying our community's secrets. This is horrendous, if it's true. What do you have?
It's true. And I think, let's see what everyone's relationships are. Okay, Claudia or Elizabeth picks up. Well, I guess it's decided. We don't even need him as a princeps anymore, so who's gonna take the mantle?
Nothing is decided.
I am in no way worthy, but Claudia, if you were to take that position,
Elizabeth.
Sorry,
and
Elizabeth.
she's a plebeian right now, so she can't.
Sorry, yeah, I'm not gonna.
She can't be a. Yeah.
I think that Peter has shown himself very well and has demonstrated how deeply he cares about the well-being of our community. I believe he would make an outstanding princeps.
And just to clarify, Eldred isn't here because Eldred is a pariah, unless he has some way.
I'll tell you what Eldred is up to after the scene.
All right, cool. All right. And Peter, you were addressed. Peter.
Walter.
And what are we to do with Rudolph? Rudolph has served us very well for quite a long time. What is to become of Rudolph at this point? What do you mean by bringing this woman in here?
And Frederick speaks up. Well, the laws are clear. He is to become a pariah now.
Send him to the frontier. We can't risk, especially with the troop movements that we've had of the redcoats on our shores and the heated aggregation of the colonists. We can't risk word of us getting out. The last thing that we need is the mortals recognizing a common enemy and coming after us when they could just be killing each other.
So are you saying that we should brand Rudolph a heretic?
Makes sense to me, says Frederick.
I defer
Peter,
to your
I'm
judgment, Peter.
Peter, I'm not sure why you're hesitating here, and I also don't know that you are demonstrating the leadership and decisiveness that we would need from our new princeps. Hawthorne, I'm not entirely sure why you were so quick to point to Peter as the nominee for the new title of princeps, but I hesitate to vouch for him given his indecisiveness in dealing with this matter.
You may be right. If he's not able and willing to do what needs to be done.
Right. I mean, I feel that we need someone who is decisive and strong-willed in these turbulent times. Now, I'm not saying that Peter doesn't have other fine qualities, but I'm not sure that he's the leader that we need at this point.
Well, if Rudolph is to be a pariah, or if he's to be a heretic, then I can think of no one better than Henrik to be the hunter. It seems that you volunteered for that position, Henrik.
Rudolph, I think it's best that you make your way out to the frontier. If we see you within the community again, I won't hesitate to do what needs to be done.
Very well. He leaves.
You have the night to make your way.
Frederick just comes up to you and says, "What about the woman?"
Well,
She's begging for her life, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I would say that at this point, she would make a very fine vintage. It's not every day that we get to sup on a mortal that has been alive for 2,000 years.
All right, cool.
I propose that all of us that are present be able to feed off of her collectively and each get one blood.
Yeah, basically. All right. So then Frederick says, "All right, I'm gonna go hunt now."
Did everyone take out their one blood for waking up?
All right. No.
What do we start at again? We started our
Yeah, you started your night, so you're at the same but -1.
Yeah, whatever you left the last session at, if you had a record of that.
I mean, I wasn't in at the last session. I had,
the one before.
Really, my blood is set by what it was more than 1,000 years ago.
Yes.
It's like the idea is that you're balancing it out. I was a little taken aback by that too.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, because we ended the last session like both, Tullius and Priscus were in the middle of a fight or at the end of a fight, so this is not looking good.
All right, I'm gonna say, get 1 blood back. Whoever wasn't in the last session get 5 blood back.
I don't remember what my blood was last time.
Sam, you were at 4, but
okay.
I don't remember what mine was because I didn't write it down. Does anybody know?
No, you are supposed to keep your own blood.
Well,
not
I wrote down everybody
else's.
else's stats.
No.
Yeah,
I love how you keep track of everyone else's blood.
Well, that's
but
the
not
important
yours.
part.
Well, I hopefully I'll be up to full if what I'm attempting to do while you guys are out goes down.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Frederick's gonna hunt, so he is going to refill his blood as well.
Okay, I'm gonna put down what I think is a fair amount.
Amazing.
What is everyone's allegiance in the Revolutionary War?
All right, so I'm gonna say Theodore has 7 plus humanity. I think it was
7 plus humanity. Oh, I see.
The starting out and well, actually, both of you get your starting humanity or your starting blood, I guess.
All right. What's my starting blood?
7 plus humanity.
What plus humanity? 7 plus humanity. Okay.
And then that -1 because it happened, and then for in the case of Theodore +1 for feeding on this human. All right, Eldred, what do you do?
So what is everyone's allegiance in the Revolutionary War? First question.
All right. Frederick is playing both sides. Claudia is just throwing parties for the monarchy.
PCs?
And Rudolph, I guess nothing right now because he just got sent to the frontier. But he didn't know that, so he was probably monarchist as well.
Peter has no allegiance.
I think I'm weakly pro-colonial because I don't like them taxing my slave trading.
And Hawthorne?
Yeah, Hawthorne is a colonialist.
So during this time, during this meeting, I have made my move, which is to have my kind of like depraved mercenaries overrun Hawthorne's hunting grounds. And I will also be making sure to feed up to full blood while I do this.
All right. Cool.
Oh, and you can take a lot.
Yeah. All right. So I think you see Rudolph walking by as well.
Oh, I see.
You see, yes.
Okay, so we'll set a scene. What is your hunting grounds normally, or what is your estate or whatever?
My regular hunting grounds, there is. I'm trying. Did we say like we're kind of all scattered throughout the colonies? Is that right?
Let's stay in a reasonable geographic area. We have no we have one night and we can't travel very quickly. So if
that's a very good point.
Let's just be somewhere where there's both opulence and fighting. I'm happy for it to say that's Baltimore, where there's like the Lords Baltimore are on the sides of the British, and but there are also the colonialist forces.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with that. Trying to think of areas in Baltimore that I know, but like I picture, because he was very ritually focused, that they actually have a church ground that was their primary hunting area.
And what is your like state? What is your cover if you have one, or do you just not have a human entity?
Yeah, my cover is working in the graveyard under graveyard shifts.
Nice. Yeah, actually, sorry, no, a churchyard wouldn't make sense as a hunting ground, because a hunting ground is a place where there are lots of people at night who are like doing risky things or who are like isolated.
No, you're right. Let's go with traditional Baltimore, and it's down by the docks.
All right. Yeah, so these mercenaries take over the harbor. They're on a commission from the Lord Baltimore, I guess. And is Rufus coming to get a boat or something, or is we just walking by?
Yeah, he seems to be getting a boat.
I say, evening, princeps.
I don't know who you're talking to.
Shouldn't you be at the moot? What do they call these? Whatever they call them nowadays.
No. And he's still walking by.
I'll walk and stand in front of him, and I say, "What happened to you?"
You can ask Hawthorne when you see him.
I'd rather ask you. You see, Hawthorne and I aren't really on speaking terms, as you must know.
And I guess we're not on speaking terms with. I'm guessing I'm on the same boat as you are. So
I say, well, then, where are you going?
Elsewhere.
I slap him on the back. Are you upset that Hawthorne got the better of you? He is a naughty little boy, but you can't let him push you around so much. These things will blow over after we kill him.
All right. What's your plan?
I say plans. Well, that seems a little complicated. We'll see if these mercenaries can kill him, and if not, the two of us together can. We fought back to back against Hawthorne before, if you remember.
Yes, that makes sense.
We should have killed him then when he was weak.
That is true.
I just have such a soft spot. First vampire I sired. I know what will cheer you up, Rufus. Let's make you a new child. Now that you're no longer part of the hierarchy, there are no rules. Tell me, which one of these do you like? Someone to keep you entertained.
He thinks for a bit. And let's cut there. So, did we decide who was the new princeps? So yeah, the mood is still going on because who is the new princeps?
Yeah, and
basically, Hawthorne tried to nominate Peter, but I shot that down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys want to have like a medal over it?
Oh, what?
So we engage with some of the mechanics as well.
That makes sense. If you're trying to ensure that Peter becomes princeps and someone else is trying to stop you, that's one way to resolve it.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, I think Hawthorne is not truly that invested in whoever it is that does get named princeps. He knows that it's not going to be him because he's just become a patrician.
I think the only option would be Theodore in this case. Because
gee whiz.
I know, right? You are now princeps. Or once I manage to click your freaking thing.
William, are you okay with that?
So wait, why is Theodore princeps?
Because we need a new princeps.
Basically, okay, you were nominated a princeps, and Theodore opposed you. The question is whether you're going to do anything about that.
Sure, yeah. Peter will be princeps.
I mean, that's the thing we're contesting.
So maybe maybe the medal is between Theodore and Peter. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, he just said that I can be princeps.
No, he actually just said that he himself could be.
Yeah. Okay, so Peter. The question is, who's gonna be princeps? Do you want to be princeps, or do you want to let Theodore be princeps?
Peter will be princeps.
Okay. So Theodore can become princeps. Okay.
That was easy.
Right, that was easy. Okay. So meeting dismissed. Frederick had gone fucked off. Claudia has also left. What's your guys' next plan?
I want to fill up, but I also want to have a meeting with our new princeps while this night is still going on.
Which one happens first?
I think since we're here already, it probably makes sense for the meeting to happen first.
All right.
Okay.
Well, congratulations on your new and elevated position, princeps.
Why, thank you, Hawthorne. I mean, I didn't mean for it to happen, but unfortunately, when I see that capable leadership is needed, then I feel it is my solemn duty to step in and do what's best for the community.
Hold on. No one made you princeps, Theodore.
Hold up.
Wait, okay, we definitely have confusion here.
Yeah, no. Hold up. How many deaths do you have on? Okay. So actually, Theodore isn't even patrician anymore because you don't have deaths on the current patricians.
Oh no!
What?
So you're
whoa!
Because that's how his move works. Mogul. When you hold at least one major debt from the princeps, or at least one major debt from 2 or more patricians.
No, that's a way. Because it's
no, but it also says you lose that status.
Yeah, you lose that status if you lose those debts, basically.
No, but you become a patrician when established in the fiction, or when you trigger mogul.
But you also lose the patrician status, which means that, and I think we haven't been keeping track of that because for some reason there are no major debts attached to Theodore anymore. So yeah, he's no longer like patrician to, and so therefore not eligible for
Well, then-
princess.
Okay, I'm not gonna.
No, that is.
I'll say discussion of it can save for after.
It says you lose patrician status when X happens, right? All the playbooks have
Yes.
that, and theirs
Yeah,
is
but I
when
think-
you no longer have the debts.
I think that only applies if you gained it through the move. Like I lose
And
it when they recover
actually
from their
gain-
shame.
Yeah, and they also gained it through the move, patrician status. That's how they became a patrician to begin with.
No. Theodore became
patrician.
patrician through alliance with Rufus.
But that took the form
But
of
he
a
was the
debt.
princeps at that point. So yes, that's literally how they got the.
Theodore's
so therefore-
Okay.
Theodore's
Okay,
debts
okay.
were to me, who's no longer a patrician, and to Rufus, and
Yeah.
both those pillars are now gone.
I see. So yeah, because Rufus and Eldred are now pariahs.
Then
Okay.
therefore, so the only option is Peter to be princeps. All right,
Huh.
so that was completely fucking useless. Okay, cool.
Can we start another scene where I'm talking with Peter, who matters?
All right, cool.
This is so unfair.
Well, first of all, I want to ask what Theodore is doing.
Like nothing has happened. People just don't care about you anymore.
I mean, damn, that stings.
I know, right?
You're so close to power.
I'm telling you, Visio, the workflows, that's what we need.
I don't even know what Visio is. You should link that at some point.
Okay. Yeah, I think that I'm gonna go try to tail Peter and talk to him as well. I'd like to be ingratiating myself with whoever the new princeps is.
All right. You're gonna have to go after the patrician though. So
Yeah.
Hawthorne.
So I turn to Peter. I say, "Congratulations, Princeps."
So is it a strange string of events indeed?
I sometimes get so confused over the structure of our society, but in any case, a very well-earned win. I hope that we can get to a point where we see past our nemesis status that we have held in the past.
Well, Hawthorne, it is a great service of yours that you have revealed this indiscretion of Rudolph, and but it is not forgotten that in the past you have had indiscretions of your own. So I think you can perhaps wipe the slate clean by actually finishing off Rudolph in a quick manner.
I trust that, despite the fact that he was more than willing to leave our council, I have a feeling that he's not going to be as quickly leaving our community. I will hunt him down tonight.
I agree. I suspect he's going to be back or very close by. I do not think he is actually leaving.
Alright.
I think that's enough.
All right, and now Theodore.
Okay, so I'm gonna catch up to talk to Peter as well. And, Peter, I'd simply like to congratulate you as well on your newfound title. I know that you must be very pleased about this, and I wanted to emphasize that my entrepreneurial services and my slave trade could help you expand your trade in tobacco and opium, whatever the other drug was. And if there's any way that I can ever be of service,
they love it.
Yes, if there's any way that I can help you with my labor pool is at your disposal. Let me know how I can help.
Excellent, excellent. Yes, we can put that to good use. There is something that I'd like to ask of you. You know, I have this sense that Frederick, I don't know. I just feel like there's something to his story that has my ears kind of perked up, and you know, Rudolph always stood by him, but now that Rudolph is gone and is shown to have you know, less than honorable intentions from the beginning, I think it would be nice to keep an eye on Frederick. Could you do that for me?
Okay, so you'd like me to talk to Frederick and investigate his doings?
Well, keep a low profile. No need to alert him to what you're doing, but yeah, keep an eye on him and report back to me. That would be great. Perhaps you could work your way into his closer to him in some way and report back to me anything that he might reveal to you.
Bargain. So
yeah.
So if you accept the bargain, Theodore, you can demand something in return, which is a no debt, forgive a debt, or other goods or services.
I definitely want a debt.
Okay. Put it down the RMAP because I'm not gonna touch that thing right now.
Okay.
But yeah, it's minor, by the way.
Okay.
Should we call it a minor debt for spying on Frederick's activities?
I just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, let's get back to the docks. Unless there's anything else going on. Eldred.
So as I said, I'm going to try and help Rufus find a new vampire to sire. Question: what is the deal with what did we decide? What were our lore moves about creating new vampires?
It was the second and the third. So they awaken a starving, bloodthirsty fiend, and they are angry, confused, and emotionally frail. They need your guiding hand.
Great.
I have an idea if you want something fun to mess with and screw me over a little bit.
Sure.
Because I would think that as part of my hunt and pursuit of Rudolph, that I would have sent in one of my blood slaves first, because I'm kind of cowardly like that.
Yeah, but I mean, do you know? I thought you were gonna go fill up before you went hunting.
Well, I'm gonna be going off to, but like as far as like a target for siring, you could grab one of my blood slaves.
All right.
Who you recognize. Up to you though. You don't have to.
Does Rufus tell me about this woman that he was obsessed with?
No.
Okay. So no, I think that this is not the Vincent. I think that's not the Eldred style. I just think instead he's like bringing Rufus. He's just like not that subtle. He's bringing Rudolph to to see like the whores, to see like the sort of big strapping dock workers, trying to like see if he can spark some desire. But he also has he is waiting for
me to show up.
For you to show up, and you know there's the mercenaries know who you are. They have orders to try and kill you. But this is sort of like passing the time / like causing more chaos.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, I'm just gonna try and see if I can get any kind of like, I don't know, humor is the wrong word, but any kind of like passionate reaction out of Rufus. Sorry, Rudolph.
Doesn't seem to care right now.
What did he do to you?
I don't think you should know.
There's nothing to hide anymore.
I don't care.
Such pride. When we kill him and you reclaim your place, will it all be better?
No.
Did you have a child? Did you have a lover? Did you have a familiar?
It doesn't matter now.
Well, everyone needs something. I guess revenge can be yours. It's certainly mine for now.
Not worth it. At this point, Claudia shows up, or Elizabeth rather. Sorry.
At the dockyards?
Yeah.
Who are they? Are they looking for Hawthorne?
Hold up. Yes, they are. They are looking for Hawthorne. And Rudolph says, or not, Rudolph doesn't say anything, but you do see Elizabeth. What do you do?
I tell Rudolph to leave for to hide essentially. For he's stay out of sight. And I crack my knuckles and wait. This normally nice. Well, I don't know. It's nice. The dockyard is definitely different than usual. There's been signs of violence. There are armed men walking around. There are dead bodies. There's probably some fires and stuff like that. Hello, sister. What a strange place to meet.
No shit. What are you doing here?
One of the lovely things about being a pariah is never having to answer that question.
All right.
I go where I want. I feed where I want. I fuck who I want. Maybe you should try it. After all, this is America. Isn't it the whole point of this revolution? We don't have to do what anyone from the old country tells us to. But come, sit. I would never forget my sister.
Get the fuck out of here.
Out of here? Am I in your hunting grounds? Or are you trespassing?
I'm here to have a meeting with the patrician
A man
who owns these hunting grounds.
You mean my son, which I suppose would mean your nephew. A man you despise. What do you want from him?
And the perks of being someone who is above a pariah, I don't have to tell you.
I suppose not. We can wait for him together if you like.
Or you can just get out of my way.
I say, Claudia, when has that ever worked?
She's gonna attack you.
She wants to fight?
She wants to fight.
To the death? All right.
Yeah.
Even though we are not even rivals? Or I guess we are rivals. All right.
Dang, it's a miracle that everyone's lasted 2,000 years so far.
I know, right?
I know, right? All right, she's gonna go.
So what does she do? She just stops talking and lunges at me?
Yeah. All right. I said how much she is spending on the after.
Hang on. I have to decide how much I'm going to spend.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. When I say go, we both post what we how much we spent.
Okay.
All right. Go.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say it. I spent 9, which becomes 10.
Yes, and so you beat her because she spent 9.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So how does she come at me?
She lunges at you.
All right. I pick her up by the neck and bring her over to like a broken down cart. So she's now like her back is against like a wooden stake.
Yeah.
And I say,
Do we have wooden stake as one of the killing things?
Yeah.
Yes. That makes sense.
I say, we've known each other for 1,000 years. Did you really want to end it all tonight?
It's too late now.
I'm letting you talk. But if that's all you have to say.
All right.
She's not going to respond anyway. I just have to murder her.
So what do you want to get from her, basically?
I am offering her an opportunity to plead for her life, to convince me not to kill her, to explain her actions, which to me seem like very, very sort of bizarre and out of character. And if she can't do any of those things, then, or isn't interested in doing any of those things, then yeah, I'll kill her.
All right. So she says, "This isn't the end of it, and you know it."
The end of what?
All right. Let me check the R map real quick. The scales are not yet settled for the next, I don't know how many years.
You should be worried about your story, Claudia. A very long book, which seems to have reached the last page.
It seems. Whatever. This is. I want an operatic end, so this may be it.
I say, I don't know if I'd call it an opera. They'll find your dusty corpse in the dirt. No one will even notice it in the carnage. That's the worst thing. You will be forgotten. No one will care. After tonight, not even me.
All right. Claudia is dead. Group. Let me fucking Control D.
Oh, and I'll drink back up on her since we've already established that's a thing I do, and I'm a pariah now.
You what now?
I'll drink back up on her.
All right.
We've established that I'm a pariah.
All right. She has 6 blood remaining.
Sweet.
All right. So boop. Boop. All right. So Rudolph says that.
Did you enjoy that, Rudolph? I noticed you didn't say anything. Were you two ever close?
No, I'm just concerned.
What are you concerned about?
What will happen next?
A moment ago, you seemed ready to die. Are you ready to fight now?
Fight what?
Fight the man who did this to you.
All right. I'll give it a shot.
All right. Well, if I have more time, I'm going to drink back up on someone else.
All right. So Hawthorne arrives shortly, so you don't have time to drink on someone else.
Okay.
So let's see. I want to have Theodore and Peter do something before the resolution of this. So what do you guys do afterwards? I want to ask Theodore first.
Okay. I mean, I think so I was in the vicinity watching this fight. What happened with Eldred killing Claudia?
I don't think so, unless you went.
No.
Unless you went specifically looking for Hawthorne.
I see.
Which maybe you were, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to move people closer to the vicinity of where the action is.
All right.
Yeah, let's say that I did like go looking for Hawthorne, and I'm in the docks area, and therefore witnessed this murder.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I can see that Eldred has vengeance on his mind, and I go to Peter and I say, look, I just saw this murder happen. I think that you will probably be a target because you're the new princeps, and I think that you should proactively do something about this. Don't let them gang up on you. Eldred and Rudolph will probably do something to threaten your position.
Hear what's going on, or just see what's going on, or what?
Yes, he saw what's going on. What was going on?
Yeah.
Okay, so you are lying to Peter to get him to do something, or
just stir in the pot.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because Peter owes me a debt, so I might as well leverage that, right?
All right.
Even though I know that Eldred and Rudolph are actually going after Hawthorne.
All right.
All right. Well, this is a dire turn of events. Perhaps we should do something about this. Why don't we go and pay Eldridge a visit?
I think that is a fine idea. I mean, he is currently a pariah, and we know that he, while unstable, is still lower in status than us, and I think that he should be reminded of this to not get any wild ideas into his head.
Good.
Sounds like party at my place.
Yeah.
Yes, and Henrik should be looking for
Hawthorne.
Eldrick to begin with. Hawthorne. So
So many names.
let's start by finding Hawthorne, and then see if he needs a hand in executing his duty as hunter.
All right.
Okay.
Hawthorne,
Yes.
you arrived first because you
Okay.
were going to your hunting grounds, right?
I am fine with that.
I mean, you were going to.
I felt for a moment like we were building up to a point where we could have kind of our
Yeah,
big
I think.
vampire war, and that would work better for me if I was caught before I got there. But I am totally fine with getting there first because I've been setting
makes
this up
sense.
to be my big finale.
All right, you are there.
Okay.
All right.
A little quiet. A little too quiet.
Well, not really, because everyone's been murdered.
They haven't all been murdered. There's still lots of people there who are trying to murder him.
Yeah.
Do we have like Hessian mercenaries?
Yes, that's exactly what these guys
All
are.
right. So this is going to be dominate, which means if your victims are many or well prepared, they may draw blood in return. So
Yeah, so I've been trying to set things up so that the prey attempt to overwhelm the predator move triggers.
yes, which is, I think, it's gonna cost 3 blood.
Okay, but I am feeding in this process, so how much am I able to get out? Because
And I am also going to attempt to prevent you from feeding. Obviously, I am also.
So that's a middle. All right.
is that a medal or is that a fight, Sam?
Well, so let's have a. So I guess my kind of sort of intention for this, and maybe this is not plausible in the rules, was essentially like you fight these guys and then we talk and then maybe we fight. But if that's not possible, I'm certainly not going to let you feed. So if
All right.
my only choice is to immediately have a scene with us, then I'll accept that instead.
All right. So
Okay.
first of all, you have to spend. Hawthorne has to spend 3 blood because the prey tried to overwhelm you.
Okay.
Now we have a scene where Eldred and Rudolph are there.
I do, for the record, consider this highly unfair. However, I did ask for it.
Yes.
Yes, it is very unfair. Although it's also somewhat unfair to curse me. Yeah.
I must say I'm disappointed but not surprised to find you here.
Which one of us are you talking to?
I guess either, both. But Eldred, I'd say in particular you. It seemed like you might have noticed a moment of chaos and chosen to take advantage of it, as is your wont.
Where do you think you got it from? My son, it pains me for us to be at odds this way. Ask for
As it does
forgiveness.
me, but
Ask
you're
for my
the
forgiveness. Go ahead.
You're the one that has sunk in your status.
Perhaps I should thank you for showing me that in this new country, status doesn't matter anymore. I imagine Lord Baltimore's head will be on a pike before the end of this. You give me freedom, and for that I am grateful, but you have also transgressed against me. Ask for my forgiveness, and we can be one happy family again.
And I think that Hawthorne, he's disinclined to in terms of just what he feels he owes, but he does know that Eldred is stronger than he is, that he's been weakened by these Hessians, and that Eldred just has that healthy looking countenance of someone who has fed recently.
Yeah.
So what do you ask of me so that I might continue my unlife?
Withdraw your curse and accept my right of dominance over you as your sire.
Here is what I'd like to see come of this. And I'm not in any position to bargain, of course. But I feel that you and I have had an unfortunate falling out due to some misunderstandings, 1,400 years ago. We have an opportunity to make a change to that. I personally, no offense to him, but I do not seek to have Rudolph continue as Princep. I think that his status has been well established, and he's, in my mind, been a traitor to our cause. But I admire what you've been able to accomplish in such a short time, though you might not have been able to maintain it.
And I see a hypocrite right here before my eyes.
Oh, you decided to join us. I thought you were supposed to be leaving town.
I was. But Eldred here decided to convince me otherwise.
It's very kind of him. Eldred?
Yes, my son.
What is your objective here? Do you hope to see Rudolph return to the throne? Or do you hope to make something of it for yourself?
Oh, Rudolph is one of us now. One of those who reject these ridiculous old world hierarchies and embrace the new American democracy of blood and musket balls and freedom. Isn't it beautiful?
It is. I am confused that you'd want to give it away so freely by having me remove this curse, as you put it.
The curse is just a marker.
The curse is the freedom. He's totally bullshitting you.
I say, very well, then curse yourself. And
Are you going to
let
fight
us
him?
be damned together.
All right, fight.
No, it's not a fight. That's
Oh,
No,
wait,
yeah, that's not.
I'm
It's not a fight
I'm telling him if he wants me to buy that, then he has to put the mark of the pariah on himself as well.
All right.
Will you do that?
What is it that you want, Eldred? Do you want me to wander off into the wilderness with you and with Rudolph and live on whatever meager findings we can have, or raise our revolution? Or do you want to reestablish the position that you held on to for such a long period of time?
So, I mean, out of character, what Eldred is talking about is not really anything particularly different. If the most different thing would be that he would be a wolf and you guys become wolf when you guys become members.
Oh,
of
I love that.
But
Let's do that.
Yeah, but so all his talk of like rejecting status is just rejecting like the authority of the other three characters.
Yeah. No, I think I'm totally down with you changing your playbook to wolf. I'll remove the curse for that.
My question is, how would that work in the fiction, or not in the fiction, but like in terms of like what does playbook represent then?
So the idea is that it specifically says that you can change your playbook when the fiction demands it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And so in this case, and I think they actually mentioned like you can get a pack, then maybe it makes sense for you to become a wolf. And now I have these two like outsiders and my own sort of parallel society, vampire society. Maybe it makes sense. But I'm happy to stay the devil rules wise if you want to. But like that's what I'm going for.
No. You can. Oh, I didn't know of like you can change your playbook like that, I wasn't aware.
Yeah, usually you do playbook shifts in downtime.
Right. So maybe the rules wouldn't change until the end of the session.
Yeah, it wouldn't change until the end of the session. So I'm guessing. It's up to Hawthorne if he wants to do that.
I think this is quite agreeable. Do you find it agreeable that I continue to leverage the status that I've established, but to help serve your needs rather than that community's?
I've never cared about the games you play. But I turn to Rudolph and say, but what say you?
One of us or one of them? You choose. Don't play games like that. Or stop playing the games like that.
That does seem fair.
Very well. I do not see Peter's position as being all that tenable. And I would not be surprised with the constraints that he's put upon me to hunt you down this very evening, and the weak position that he's put me in. I anticipate he's likely on his way here right now to make sure that I've done my job properly.
Then before he gets here, renounce your role as hunter.
And I do.
And he gets here now.
All right.
Along with Theodore.
Well.
Oh, right on time. I just thought of a crazy fucking thing that we could do. Because I still have dark power and we still have a ton of Hessians. We could just slaughter them all right now to do a dark ritual.
All right.
I feel like we don't really have time for that, maybe? I don't know.
They just got here, by the way. Oh, and by the way, Frederick's behind them, but like, or this is out of character. Frederick is gonna come later. Okay. So
we'll deal with that when it comes.
All right.
Yeah, I think.
But yeah, Theodore and Peter are here.
Yeah, I think my part of it is that I could start. I would see it as, since I had to spend 3 blood, that I have already made some blood sacrifice through that.
No, this is more. This is in addition to the 3 blood is to overwhelm the prey when they try to overwhelm you.
But were they killed in that process?
Yes.
And their blood spilt in that way cannot be used for the ritual.
Correct.
Okay. But
So-
what I'm envisioning is, Eldred and Rudolph fighting off Theodore and Peter, while I just start killing more Hessians, but in a ritualistic fashion.
If you want to go do a ritualistic murder, we'll stall them and we'll keep, or at least keep them engaged, and we'll see what happens in this scene. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. I won't pretend to know what's going to happen.
All right. So, how much blood do you want to give to the offering?
For this, I'm looking at doing like how many of these soldiers do we have here?
Or I don't know. Depends on what Eldred sent. Eldred?
Yeah, Sam.
You're muted.
The whole gang is here. They've moved as like
But how much is the whole gang?
I don't know, probably like 50 people or something. How much is in like a small, like a small...
All right, so 50 minus, I'm gonna say like 20 of them fell, so like 30 times 5.
150 blood.
Yeah, but they're not just gonna stay there, stand
Yeah,
down.
no, like they're gonna start running right away. I would say probably like half of them are gonna get away.
Probably need to like lure them individually, or
So 15 times 5. So that's half of, so 75 what you would get at most.
Yeah.
All right, so I think, so for Peter and Theodore, what's your plan now?
Well, they're gonna come with, they're entering the scene.
And I'm asking.
Meet me and Rudolph.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an unexpected turn of affairs. Peter, sir, see. Yeah, it's just as I had suspected. They are plotting against you. You can see right now that Hawthorne is readying his blood slaves and performing this ritual. They're going to attack you. I think that we should fight.
Indeed. So Eldred is standing in front of us with his horde of mortals. Is this what we come upon? And then a bunch of people being slaughtered behind us?
Eldred and Rudolph are standing between you and the people getting slaughtered by Hawthorne.
I mean, this is a big area. Like, if we hear that you're coming, we'll come and meet you. The carnage that's going on in the docks is going on. I don't really know what those rules do, so I'm sure
this is going on the docks. Are there other mortals around witnessing this?
But the idea was that like this is a war-torn area, and like a mercenary regiment came and like took over this area. There was fighting. There continues to be fighting. There are prisoners and fires and all kinds of shit's going on. This is like an area of violent chaos, but one where currently like my servants are the dominant force, although they're being depleted.
All right, what do you do?
All right. Well, Eldred and Rudolph, fancy seeing you here with, it looks like Hawthorne at your back. So tell me, what is happening? And do you really think that the mortals are just going to let us get away with this? Don't you think this destroys the hunting grounds for all of us?
I mean, that's not really my responsibility, isn't it? I don't know. Is it yours? I heard someone say that you are now prince. Is that right?
Tell me, are we going to destroy all of these people? Are we just going to let everyone know who and what we really are? We're just going to have to move again. This is such a waste.
This is war, but there's a purpose to every revolution. I believe in the ideals for which these brave men are fighting. For the freedom not to listen to kings and princes.
And And who maintains order? Who maintains balance in this case? Or is it just pure chaos that you're looking for?
We will have to see. We will have to find out. No one has ever done this before. Isn't it exciting?
These revolutionaries that you idealize, what is it that they seek to replace their monarchs with?
You know, I don't really have the patience to read all these pamphlets they keep churning out, but there seems to be some idea that they'll all make decisions together. A republic, or, well, it's all a bit above my head, but I'm sure it will be very interesting. And if worst comes to worst, there will be plenty of blood.
All right then. Tell me more about your republic that you seek.
Well, there will be an end to princes, and we will vote on our course of action.
Well, all of us but Elizabeth are here. Where is Elizabeth anyway?
Why don't you ask Theodore?
I mean, Peter, he has shown his true colors by, selling his lands with the death of another vampire. I don't think that you should trust his word. In fact, I think that we should gather our forces by collecting your devotees and asking them to come to our aid. We're clearly outnumbered. I can see on the far side of this field that Hawthorne has called in his reinforcements, and I think that we should do the same. Enough talk.
Peter, Claudia tried to kill me. I don't really understand why, but I defended myself, as would have been my right as a patrician, and is certainly my right now. As for you, Theodore, I mean you no ill will. You protected me when no one else would.
That is true, and right now I'm confused as to why you were trying to upset our order. We have a good thing going on, and here you are suing chaos.
The order turned out not to be so good. I think that is really the root of all this chaos, both among the prey and now among us. I'm sorry that the bonds of debt could not bind me as an outcast, but simply have to take my word that I mean you no harm.
So Frederick arrives on the scene. Frederick arrives on the scene, and so far Hawthorne has gone through half of what he needs. And Frederick is like, okay, what's going on? Why is everyone here?
Hello, Frederick. Is this every vampire in Baltimore? What an honor.
All right.
Frederick, you're here to witness the founding of our new Republic of the Damned.
Oh, do tell.
A republic without kings and princes, where each vampire is equal.
That sounds lovely. How are you gonna do such a thing?
Oh, I've already done it. That's the thing about revolutions. They seem impossible, and then they happen.
Very well.
So, come, friends. Enjoy this bloody night, and take the opportunity to feed while all are distracted.
And Frederick, Eldred is just talking nonsense. I don't think you should listen to anything that this pariah is saying. We have a perfectly good order and a system that has been working for thousands of years. This pariah is simply trying to sow chaos in a time where we have been distracted by this war that the mortals are sowing. But really, like, you shouldn't listen to any of this nonsense.
Frederick, Theodore belongs to an order of 1 now, I believe. Think about it, Theodore. You can now be prince.
Nope, Frederick, you and I are both here to serve our princeps, who's Peter. And you will be accorded the privileges thereof, and there's no reason you should be listening to this pariah. He's not worth your time.
Why are you listening to him then? Why don't you fight him?
Shouldn't. I mean, he's here talking nonsense, something about philosophies and new world orders.
Why don't you fight him then?
Order.
Then.
We should. Peter?
I see 3 fools here. I see a chosen one who cursed his own maker. I see a former princep who cast down as a pariah this ritualist over here who is in the middle of his pool of blood, only to have this ritualist then cast out the prince, the former princep, and now they are all here together causing a bloodbath of mayhem on the docks for all of these mortals to see, which is basically going to outcast all of us from this community, and we shall have to move on to some other hunting grounds where they are not all suspicious and willing to cause trouble on the supernatural forces that are now obviously present. This is absolute absurdity. This is complete chaos and mayhem, and they have no good explanation for it other than half-baked philosophies.
And yet it's already happened, and you are powerless to stop it.
Is there a fight going on here? Because if there's no fight, Frederick says, then I'm out, honestly.
Peter, are you unwilling to fight to defend your title?
I'm not out to defend my title. I'm out to defend my unlife from these crazy mortals who are now running in fear and all looking at us. We're going to have to abandon these hunting grounds either way. The question, Theodore and Frederick, is: do we destroy these three crazy people before us, before we go, or do we let them continue to cause mayhem that is only going to curse us and the rest of our lives?
Frederick says, Peter, you don't have the decisiveness to be a princeps.
To me? Done. I mean, I'm not the princeps.
Sorry, Peter, I said.
Yeah,
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. Frederick says, Peter, you don't have the decisiveness to be a princeps. We're going to have to take you out. Regardless.
I think I agree at this point.
All right. So Frederick's going to attack Peter. Theodore, what are you doing?
This puts me in a tough spot. I was hoping to at least go into fight 3-on-3, but now Frederick's attacking Peter. You know what? I think I'm going to help Frederick take out Peter.
All right.
I mean, unless Peter's willing to, change his mind and help us.
Help who? Help who is us?
Theodore and Frederick basically are in the mood to fight the other 3.
Good, let's do it. Let's fight. But wait, but Frederick's already attacking.
The die is cast.
Okay, so
no more speechifying by Theodore. It's either fight or stand by.
So Theodore, are you fighting who?
Frederick, Theodore, and Peter are fighting Rudolph and Eldred at this point.
No.
Frederick is fighting Peter.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because he doesn't think that Peter is good enough to be a princeps.
And of course, because he, as a devil, will become a patrician if he successfully takes out.
Also that too.
Okay, Frederick. I'm going to help you fight Peter.
All right, cool. All right. So anyone else is helping? Or
do I have enough blood spilt from my ritual?
No, not yet.
My ritual is so simple. And I can explain like what the goal of it is at least, so you can decide when narratively it makes sense to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the goal that I wanted to have, we had established in our lore that the light of the sun doesn't kill a vampire, but what it does is it depowers them. And what I wanted to have is that our enemies in this fight would experience the force of the sun upon them. So they would not be able to access their vampiric power.
All right, so I think that would happen after the fight, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of established for the fight. I'll come up with a different effect of the ritual in that case, because.
All right, cool.
Well, but remember, this is the first fight. We're not fighting for our lives yet. These guys are still struggling amongst themselves to see who.
Are you going to join in or no? You're standing by?
No. I'm going to watch in delight.
All right, Rudolph is going to watch as well. So each one bets X amount of blood. Yeah. Frederick has bet. Has everyone else bet?
Yes.
Peter, have you bet? Walter.
Yeah, one moment.
All right.
This is really unfortunate. I mean, I think I read in one of those pamphlets that, divided we stand, or united we stand and divided we fall. I mean, I really disappointed Peter.
Great pamphlet.
But I must do this.
A+ pamphlet.
Yep.
Everyone, okay. Do you know how much you're spending?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, go.
I knew it.
All right. So yeah, you fucking Theodore does almost nothing. Frederick overwhelms Peter.
So Peter is slain, or is Peter spared?
That's my.
Come on, 16-0. He is so dead.
Well, it's more like we still have the option, even though if it's 16-0.
Okay.
You're both at his mercy.
Or he's at our mercy, basically.
He's really more at Frederick's mercy. I mean, Frederick is like got him in a chokehold.
Right. Frederick is going to make the call.
Yeah, like Frederick is in this rage right now. What's he doing?
Frederick's gonna, if no one's gonna stop him, he's gonna diablerize Peter.
I'm not gonna stop him. And Theodore can't stop him.
Well, mainly because it's the in-character thing to do, not because I want to kill off.
Yeah.
This is the end of the session, I mean.
And well, we have another session. That's
but hundreds of years in the future.
Yeah, true. So yeah,
Peter, I didn't mean it for it to come to this, but you were just too damn indecisive. Like, really, man.
All right. So yeah, no one's gonna stop the devil from diablerizing the princeps. Okay. How much blood do you have at the end?
Who, me?
No, Peter.
7. Oh wait, Peter.
Peter has 10.
All right, cool. He's gonna drink you dry. All right. And Frederick says now, well, that was satisfying.
Sorry, what is Frederick doing with? I assume that Frederick is sparing Theodore. Frederick
No,
also wanted to kill you?
well, Theodore was on his side, so
No.
Um,
Theodore was not on his side. Theodore sided with
No, no,
Peter.
no.
You said. Oh, I see. You sided with.
I sided with Frederick because Peter was being too damn indecisive, and I was
Got
just
it. Okay.
yeah.
yeah, that hence why. All right, so
I say. So Theodore, is your plan to enjoy the rest of eternity, with only Frederick for company?
Well, I think that I at least got some kind of debt from Frederick in this process. So, being as I think he's probably the only patrician at this point.
the only patrician.
So it's
Wait,
a little
hold on.
complicated. So the pariahs now outnumber the Camarilla or whatever, and we reject
Yeah.
your authority.
Like,
So I don't know how the game resolves this, but perhaps
Rip Undying rules. We have officially broken Undying.
Yeah,
All
Okay.
I'm trying to do is
think,
climb some ladders. There's no ladder to climb here. This is very disappointing.
yes, maybe what happens is that I am now the princeps or president. And,
President of the pariahs.
No one elected you.
I think somebody has to write over to Paul Riddle and ask what happens if you want to play a Sabbat campaign.
All right, so okay, so well, this isn't gonna be end of session. I think the next session will also be, or actually, let's have epilogues ish, because I'm not sure what happens next session. There was supposed to be another session after this. There was supposed to be another session after this. I don't know what the fuck happens now.
No,
Well,
I think you just have like a massive just reshifting of the assumptions of the setting, because I think with the only ritual that makes sense to do at this is to actively enslave a human population so that they're willing feed, because we have escalated things so much with this area. We either have to leave or they have to be complete serf subjects of us.
All right. So here's how I'm gonna end Hawthorne's story. How much blood do you have right now?
6. I would have figured that in all of this spilling blood for rituals, though, I probably would have eaten a person or two.
Yeah, I think the problem with this ritual is that it's fucking massive and you don't have and 75 blood is not gonna cut it. Rudolph needed 200 plus to banish a plague.
maybe the ritual just covers up what happened here. Then we can continue to live here and continue to the masquerade will persist. We don't need to move.
It makes it seem like there's just a shipment of explosives that went off, some freak accident of war.
That makes sense. I think what will happen now is that I have to somehow reframe the next session or something.
Well, you have 200 years, so basically anything can happen during that time.
But I don't know how the fuck the system is gonna work if there's no fucking system.
I mean,
so maybe I have to run a B-side game next week.
I mean, I think the other thing that you can do is say that we've basically established a new paradigm. So whatever narratively makes sense for assignments of that new structure that ignores what the old hierarchy was.
But then again, we're keeping the old hierarchy, just everyone reshuffled.
Right. I mean, so I think there can be a certain the more things change, the more things stay the same, right? So just like in America, despite the fact that it's a democracy, there are people who are on top and there are people who are not on top, and
meet the new boss.
Right. Well, we've chewed through basically all the NPCs, but a few hundred years to start some new ones, or some new ones to show up.
I think it makes sense for the story to end here, though, because it was a big deal. That it shook up the entire fucking society. So I don't mind running a B-side game next week, but then I'd have to tell the new players that they are not playing Undying. So I'm gonna have to talk to them about what they want to play instead. But that's my problem for next week.
We went out with a bang, though. This was fun.
I don't think nearly enough people died. I was expecting like a full out battle between the three of us versus the other three. And we ended up killing.
I don't know if you've noticed, but Eldred only takes fights he knows he's going to win.
Also, the fact that the Armad literally has half the people diablerized.
Well, that was before I came back in, so
no, like not
the total now.
The total now is like everyone being diabler, like half the people being diablerized. You only missed one diablerie. Just saying.
Oh, good point. Okay, fine.
All right, so yeah, I think we met the quota.
Is there a mechanism in the game for making new
yes, there or new what?
New vampires.
Yes, there is one, but I think this is a good capstone for the game. Honestly. Let's do stars and wishes. We only have 20 minutes. Let's start with Crystal.
Okay. Star to Sam for, giving a very eloquent and surprisingly philosophical defense of a new world order. I mean, I was moved, even though my character wasn't. Wishes, there was just a lot of bureaucratic, like, relationship shifting in this, and I know that it
Wishes is more for the future, technically. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
it's just like very confusing, and I'm still annoyed that I was almost princeps and then not.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I thought I had it in the bag by quietly waiting for that power vacuum, and then I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but are you gonna be here next week?
I'm not. Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. Sam,
I was also trying to get myself killed, and that didn't happen either.
All right.
So it's okay.
All right, Sam.
There are a lot of stars. I could do one for each of the other players. But I'll give one to Crystal for the friends turned enemies thing between Eldred and Theodore, which I enjoyed.
Wishes, which is something you want to see in the next session.
I mean, there is no next session, so it doesn't.
All right. Yeah. Or in the future, if we play together again.
As I said at the beginning of the session, I think it would be fun to explore the brooding or boredom or like lovelorn aspects of like the vampire fiction, and have those like intersect with the kind of like, real politic struggle for power. If I were to keep playing this, that would be how it would keep it like fresh and interesting.
And by the way, I would still want to have like the next week have a session, even though it's not Undying or whatever, or like I'd have to talk to the people who aren't here who are RSVP for that one. But yeah, like I don't want to cancel the game because hey, it turns out that we finished the game session early. Like that would be bad. Like I would definitely have to run a B-side or like an alternative to the game. But I think I don't want to just leave them in the cold. Vincent, stars and wishes.
Yeah, I'd say like stars in general, just kind of all around for everybody escalating stuff to the nth degree. I feel it's one of the things that we struggled a little bit with last session is that like it didn't feel like there was as much actively happening, and in this time like everybody came in being like, here is the one thing that I want to get done, and push that to the tilt. And I think it really paid off with a lot of interesting stuff happened, which was awesome. Yeah, wishes. I think that like the only wish that I'd have for Undying is being able to play in a campaign structure that doesn't feel like it has to get to the next point really quickly. And I mean, like the nature of this, we really did have to do that. But it'd be interesting to play a game where the nightly phase doesn't always have to jump several centuries ahead. It can sometimes be like, okay, you know, like what makes sense right now because we're not done with the story of Rome is we're going to jump at a month, and we'll have kind of more minor downtime action. I think it definitely works for a Gauntlet Hangout setup to do, you know, each session being kind of disjointed, but it'd be really interesting to see what the game is like if it can be more tightly knit.
Walter, stars and wishes.
Yeah, stars. I could give stars all around, but I really want to single out Vincent and Hawthorne really shaking things up in the beginning of this session with the curse, and then bringing in the blackmail on Rudolph and just turning the whole power structure upside down. That was very cool.
Wishes?
No wishes.
My star is for Sam to for fucking shit up massively. My wish is that it's more a retrospective one. It's like in the future I want to get into the darker shit, but I feel like we couldn't get into it with Undying because there's a lot of bookkeeping and there's a lot of shit that like there's a lot of rules confusions and shit, and I really didn't have time to like hammer down the dark shit or the shit that push the envelope, so to speak. So I'm like,
And I mean,
fortunately, next month I'm gonna run Monster Hearts basically. So I'm like, I might get a chance to do that anyways. But for Undying, it's like I just didn't have like we didn't have enough breathing space for the dark shit to happen.
Yeah, I was caught off guard by how long the downtime phases take. Because like when I read through it in the book, it seemed very mechanical. Like, okay, you know, this happens, this happens, this happens. Okay, now we're done with downtime and we move on to the next nightly. But there's so much that changes, you know, based on what this person does. Suddenly the next person has to decide a different set of options. And yeah, it slows stuff down a lot more than I anticipated.
I can't decide whether I loved or hated the curveball. Like I spent like this afternoon, I was like thinking about like things my character might do, or like what are all out the window, torched on fire, which ended up being awesome. But yeah, as you say, it's definitely it does create a little bit of a slowdown just because you have to take a moment to think and like what's gonna happen next.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you for participating. Thank you for playing.
Thank you for running this.
Yeah, thank you for running it so much, Maria. I think it's one that we don't often get to play because there's like so much Dungeon World and World of Dungeons and like it's fun to play something that I think is like a little outside of the box for Gauntlet.
This has definitely been on my list of like games that I want to try, and I was very excited to see it, and I also was very grateful that like someone else is stepping up and you know, taking responsibility for what turned out to be very like a confusing and complex rule set, and helping us like work through it.
All right. I'm gonna stop the broadcast, but thank you everyone.